What is good, everybody, man? Welcome back into the Blue Bloods as we continue our FCS player spotlight for the 2023 season. And we are joined today by my guy, Thor Griffith, Harvard defensive lineman, is a 2023 preseason FCS All American. Last year, consensus first team All Ivy selection, was also on the Phil Steele first team FCS All American list, and was also the New England Football Journal first team All New England selection, and was also a Jerry Rice Award finalist his first season at Harvard. Man, Thor, appreciate you hopping on the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Zach.
I want to go way back, man, back to Portsmouth High School, where you were really a standout in all kind of different sports, man. You were one of the best wrestlers in the state. I want to just ask you, how does your wrestling background, how do you feel like that helps you now as a defensive lineman?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like first off, just like the toughness and tenacity you just kind of build through wrestling. So I think that's the biggest thing that's helped me. And then another thing that's helped me is just like being able to see how people move, how bodies bend, just different leverages, and just like using that experiences from wrestling. And it just kind of like putting that into my work as a D lineman. I feel like that's really helped me so far.
Do you still train wrestling anywhere, or you just kind of focus on the background of it? If you used to be a wrestler and you kind of more focus just on football now?
Oh yeah, I mostly just focus on football. I might wrestle some of my teammates here and there. We might roll around the mat when we have some free time, but yeah, I mostly just stick to football nowadays.
I was watching one of your previous interviews that you did, and there were some comments in there about they thought that you were one of the best hockey players coming up. Through you started playing very early. I think you stopped right around middle school.
Yeah.
Why did you not decide to pursue hockey a bit further throughout high school and possibly even college?
Oh, I mean, I just kind of like I did it my entire life, so I want to try to kind of branch out and play different sports. And then in high school, I started playing football. And I just kind of fell in love with it, so I decided to kind of change tracks and just stick with that.
It definitely paid off. Looking now back through your journey
Oh yeah.
through your time at Harvard, looking at your recruiting process, you two-time first team All-State. You were named the Portsmouth High School MVP in 2018. What was your recruiting process coming out of your senior year?
Oh, I mean, I didn't honestly. I didn't get a lot of like attention from recruiters at all. Um, the only schools that really showed any interest into me were Cornell and Harvard. Football wise, I did get some looks for wrestling, and I was originally committed to Brown for wrestling before I decommitted, then recommitted to Harvard for football. But I mean, it was tough, especially coming from a smaller school, not getting a lot of attention. So I had to email different head coaches, position coaches, just trying to get people to notice me. I would send them my film, my workouts, and luckily enough, one of the coaches that got back to me was Coach Murphy at Harvard, and he was really impressed what I did, and we kept in touch. And later that summer, going into my senior, I went to one of the Crimson camps. I performed well, and a couple days later, he called me up and offered me. So
You come into Harvard your first year, it's you're primed to probably step in and play immediately as a true freshman, but COVID, of course, cancels the Ivy League season. There was a chance you guys can play in spring, decided not to really do that. When you look at just your journey to Harvard, how did you prepare yourself throughout 2020, knowing that you probably weren't going to see the field in a real game?
yeah, it was definitely tough, just like having to go out there 6 days a week, lifting, sprinting, conditioning, running, all that stuff. And like while knowing at the same time that I'm probably not going to be playing in a game for a whole nother year. But the way I thought of it, it was like I get a whole nother year to prepare for my first like college football experience. So I might as make the most of it and just not really complain or kind of like have any self doubt and just look down upon myself, just saying, "Oh, boo hoo, I'm not being able to play. These guys are playing." I looked at it as like as another opportunity for me to get better and just improve.
You definitely prepared yourself for that breakout 2021 season, a finalist for the Jerry Rice Award, an FCS Freshman All-American. I mean, for both Field Steel and Hero Sports. When you look at that 2021 season, what clicked for your game?
I think like my first two games, I didn't struggle, but I really didn't kind of pop off the way that I wanted to. I was still, I guess, kind of getting used to the speed and tempo of just college football. But it was my third game against Holy Cross that I feel like I really just everything clicked for me, and I was able to really just get back in my groove. So I think that was the game that I started to basically understand like the speed, the movement, my my responsibility. So I think that was the game that really pretty much like allowed me to like pop off that season.
Looking just at the defensive line room when you came in, you guys have had and still have so much talent. You look at guys like Chris Smith, Jacob Sykes, Truman Jones, yourself. What was the mentorship like in that defensive line room in terms of you coming in your first 2 seasons?
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. I get to look up to guys like you said, Chris and Syke, just like the way they conduct themselves on and off the field, and then just also how they played. And I would use things that they did. I would try to emulate the way they played, and I was always when I could always go up to them and ask them different stuff, whether it be for school or for like different like technique stuff, or just like what to do when O lineman sets like a little high or something. And so it was really good opportunity for me, especially to be able to like learn from those guys who had so much more experience than I did.
You talked a little bit about Coach Murphy getting back to you. I mean, he's been coaching at Harvard for more years than I think either of us have been alive. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he's been there forever. I don't think we'll ever see anyone be at a university as long as he has again,
Oh yeah.
especially in today's age of college football. What is he like behind the scenes, though, with the team and yourself?
I mean, he's a phenomenal coach. He really connects with the players on a one-on-one level, and he's also just a great like head coach in general. He knows how to like lead us and motivate us. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing for him, and I wouldn't want to play for any other coach in my college career. So yeah.
Looking at your defensive line coach, Michael Horan, how instrumental has he been in your development, and just how has he helped you progress as a defensive lineman throughout your time at Harvard?
Yeah, I mean, like the first things like he always like teaches us like run the basics like blocking techniques, pass rush moves, which is definitely a step up from what I ever got in my high school experience. So I improved in those ways. But the thing I think he does best is the way he like the way he runs a scheme and basically puts us in positions to make the TFLs, to make the sacks, to stop the run, that get puts in the best position to be making these plays. So I think that's part of the reason why I and the rest of the Harvard D line has been so successful these past few years.
You've achieved almost everything you can at the FCS level. I mean, you've been a finalist for the J. Rice. You have the All American, the All Conference, the All New Hampshire Society awards. What do you want to achieve this final season at Harvard?
I mean, I just want to enjoy it to the most like the to my best of a bit. Excuse me. Just want to like enjoy it the most I can. This would probably be my last college football season, so I just want to savor it and just enjoy it with my guys and just be out the. My goal is to go 10-0 with the team, so I just want to enjoy it and just have a good time and win.
What would it mean to you? Because I want to say it was 2015 or 16 was the last conference championship for Harvard. What would it mean to you to go out and get that ring your final season?
Yeah, that'd mean the world to me. I mean, we haven't won one in a while. In 2020, we were robbed one from the Princeton game, so definitely good to get that back and like finish my college career with a bang.
I like how you said that, man. I've had a few talked to a few Harvard guys, and they that Princeton game I know hunts ever
Oh
like
yeah.
that was the one that I know everyone thinks that should have went another way. But looking just at your career, man, I want to take true freshman year Thor Griffith, compare him to the guy I'm talking to now going into his final season. What's the single biggest developmental change that you've seen in your game?
I think just my mentality and just like the way I could like approach every single week. Because before I was always just kind of like it's game day. I show up and get ready. But now it's just like the whole process that I go through starting on Sunday the week prior and just all the way through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, all the way until Saturday morning. I think that's really where I've developed the most. Just the preparation, the way I watch film is just so much different than I have in previous years, especially during high school.
Shifting to some quick hitters, when you look at your game, whether it's current or former NFL defensive lineman, is there one or two guys that you try to model your game after the most?
Yeah, the two guys that I model my game after is Aaron Donald and Dominican Sue. I just love the way Aaron Donald just his speed, his agility, just his all those different pass rush moves. It's phenomenal. And then in Dominican Sue, I just love his like tenacity and aggressiveness, like and the way he plays. So I try to use different things from both those guys just to improve my game.
I don't think there was a better man. I was a huge Ndamukong Suh fan
Oh yeah.
when he was at Nebraska. I still think he got robbed. If there's ever a defensive guy who should have won the Heisman in the past 20 years, it should have been Ndamukong Suh. And no one was better than him at that point. But looking back through your career, man, what was your welcome to college moment on the field, whether it was in practice or a real game?
Oh yeah, I'd probably say like the first day of pads. Um, not my friend. Yeah, like yeah, my freshman training, the first day of pads, and we're lined up. We're doing just some inside run stuff, and like the first time, just getting double teamed by two like legit college offensive linemen. That was kind of like my wake up moment. Like, damn, I'm not in New Hampshire anymore. I'm not in high school. This is real college football. So
It's always the one-on-ones, man. That first, especially the first day in pads, because you're not ready. Like there's different levels of
yeah, the
conditioning
tempo
with that.
just the new level.
I played O-line, man, so I feel you, man. Like being bigger guys, like we're no matter how hard you train, you're never ready for the first day of pads,
Oh yeah,
be it
yes.
O-line, D-line. But looking just at your game, man, how big of a trash talker are you in between those white lines on game day?
Oh, I mean, it depends. Like usually I don't talk too much, but if it's like a big rivalry game, it's Harvard, Yale, Harvard, Princeton. Yeah, I'm saying some stuff back and forth with those guys.
And in the trenches, I always joke because every time I have a D lineman or O lineman on the show, I'm like, we all know anyone who's played in the trenches knows you just get tired of seeing the same guy across from you.
Oh yeah,
Like
definitely.
after the 20th play, it's like, okay, bro, I need to see someone other than you. So I feel that. But one on one, man, what's the number one mistake an offensive lineman can make against you?
That's tough. I mean, whatever they do, I can exploit whatever weakness they're showing. If they jump set me, I can beat them with speed. They're sitting back in their stance, like preparing for that speed rush. I can blast them with power. So to me, it doesn't really matter what they're doing. I'm going to find a way to beat them.
Do you have a go-to sack celebration, man?
Oh, not really. I just kind of get up, pound my chest, celebrate with the boys, and get back to the line.
I love it. Simple. You're like, man, I'm just hey, we're gonna go get another one. So we
Oh
don't have
yeah.
to over celebrate that one. Where do you feel, especially going toward the next level, where do you feel most comfortable on the defensive line in terms of position along the defense line? Could you slide out to a five if you needed to? Are you more comfortable at that three tech, playing even a nose position?
Yeah, I mean, my comfort zone is definitely that three tech position. That's where I feel like I can make the most plays. I feel like it's the most versatile on the interior. But I mean, I've been playing four eye, three tech, two eye, nose. I could play any of those positions. I played a little five, so I feel like I'm pretty versatile when it comes to that. I could play anywhere on the D line, and I just like three tech. I feel like I get the most sacks and TFLs off there.
Hey, there's no harm in being like, man, that's where I know I can
Yeah,
make
yeah.
the biggest impact. And I think I've seen that on your film. But looking through your career at the collegiate level, who are one or two of the best offensive players you've ever had to face in a game?
I forget his name, but number 72 on Yale. He's an O lineman. I think
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Kieran?
I
Is
believe
it
so.
Kieran? Yeah, he's
Yeah,
back this year if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, yeah. He's probably one of the better guys that I faced. I mean, I remember during last year's game against him, we were talking back and forth before the game and all that. And I'm looking forward to going against him this year. I didn't really get to go against him because he was playing tackle on the other side of me, but I hope he moves to the inside again. Good butt heads.
That might be one of the ones where you tell your coach, like, "Hey, coach, let me play five a few snaps this game. I
Oh
just want to
yeah.
see what I got for her." But man, the final two questions have to deal with the NFL draft. You're going to be one of the top prospects coming out of the FCS this upcoming season. What would it mean to you, given your whole journey, man, to be the first Harvard player drafted since I believe 2016?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely my goal for this season to really just show out, show my abilities, and be able to be given these opportunities to show these NFL teams and scouts that I can play at that next level and that I deserve to be drafted in the draft. So I'm just right now I've been preparing for that and for this season.
If an NFL franchise comes to you and asks what they're going to get in Thor Griffith if they do select you in the upcoming NFL draft, what do you tell them?
They're going to get a vicious defensive lineman that's going to blast through O line and absolutely disrupt offenses.
Man, I love it. So I got to ask you real quick, man, a real final question. Is there a game on the schedule that you have circled as your statement game for your final season?
I mean, obviously it's Harvard Yale, so that's probably like the one I've been circling the most. But yeah, any game before that, there's two others. There's the Holy Cross game that's going to be in Polar Park, which is going to be awesome. It's going to be in the baseball field. and or in the baseball stadium, and then there's the Princeton game. So probably those are my 3 games that I'm really looking to show out the most.
I'm gonna try to make it up there, man. I'm based out of Mobile, Alabama, so it's a long trip to the
Oh yeah,
Northeast.
yeah,
But I
yeah. That's a
wanted
while.
that Harvard Holy Cross game in the baseball stadium. That's like a once in a lifetime type thing.
Oh
So I
yeah,
need to.
that game's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be a
I can't,
bloodbath.
I can't wait for it, man. But Thor, I appreciate you hopping on the show, man. Let people know where they can find you on social media. Follow your journey throughout your collegiate and potentially your NFL career after this.
Yeah, so my Insta's Thor Griff with 2 F's, and my TikTok's Thornado50. So if you want to follow either one of those two, feel free.
That is a legendary TikTok name, by the way. Props to you for that. That's an amazing TikTok name. I'm sure that
Appreciate
is
it.
super popular. But man, Thor, I appreciate you again, guys. Make sure to go follow Thor on all social media, man. You're gonna want to keep up with this guy's journey. He's gonna follow up this preseason All-American honor with the postseason one and be one of the top FCS prospects in the 2024 NFL draft. But for Thor Griffith, for myself, and for the Blue Bloods, man, we are out for right now.